So let's talk about a really fascinating approach to getting things done. It's called the 921 Productivity Program. And the promise here is, well, it's pretty radical. It's about getting more done in way less time, not by just grinding harder, but by getting your mind and body ready for peak performance. Let's break down how it actually works.
Okay, does this sound at all familiar to you? You're putting in the long hours, you're staying late at the office, but your actual output, it just isn't matching the effort you're putting in. You feel like you're just spinning your wheels, right? Constantly distracted, and by the end of the day, you're just completely drained. It's a super common feeling, and, it points to a much bigger problem.
And that problem is this. The way we work today is fundamentally broken. We're fighting a straight-up epidemic of burnout and mental fatigue. And that old advice to just work longer or hustle harder, it's just leading to diminishing returns. So if more hours isn't the answer, what is? Well, that's exactly where the 921 program comes into the picture. It's designed as a direct answer to this whole productivity trap, offering a clear, structured way to get the most out of your most valuable working hours. So what is it exactly? Well, the 921 program is basically a 30-minute morning routine. It uses some very specific yoga and meditation techniques to get you ready for a 4-hour solid block of intense, focused, uninterrupted, deep work. And the promise is a bold one, to help you knock out a full day's worth of tasks in just half the time. And the structure? It's actually beautifully simple. First, it starts with just 9 minutes of a dynamic yogic sequence called a Kriya. You can think of it like an energy dance for your body. Then, you immediately follow that up with 21 minutes of a specific, focused meditation called Kundalini meditation. After that 30-minute prep, you are ready to dive into 4 hours of pure, deep work. All right, so first up, that 9-minute energy dance. Now, this isn't some gentle morning stretch. The whole point here is to deliberately and very quickly activate your physical systems to get your brain ready for what's coming next. This Kriya is really designed as a short but pretty intense burst of movement. Think of it like turning the ignition switch on a high-performance engine. The goal isn't to burn calories, it's to flood your brain with oxygen and all those good neurochemicals that prime it for focus and alertness. And hey, this isn't just some nice idea. The science here is totally solid. Research, including from places like the National Institute on Aging, has shown that these short, intense bursts can actually be more effective for boosting your brain power, like sharpening your memory and attention, than longer, more drawn-out workouts. I love this quote from a Harvard Medical School report. It just captures the idea perfectly. Yoga doesn't just work your body, it's actively building a stronger, more resilient brain. It does this by stimulating new neural connections and can even thicken the parts of the brain responsible for awareness and attention. It's literally a workout for your mind. Okay, so you've energized your body, the system is primed, it's alert, it's ready to go. So, what's next? This is where that crucial second step comes in. You've got to focus the mind. That 21-minute meditation, it is not about zoning out. It's about taking all that amazing energy you just created and learning how to aim it, how to channel it. This practice often uses specific breathing techniques, mantras, and focus points. It's essentially attention training for your newly awakened brain. And the benefits here are just as well documented. We're talking about physically increasing the connections between your brain cells, all while making you less reactive to stress. And what that does is make it much, much easier to enter that incredible state of peak performance we call flow. So now we have the two pieces of the puzzle, an energized body and a focused mind. How do these two things combine to create the absolute perfect conditions for peak performance? Well, this is where we get into the really cool science of flow. Think of your nervous system like a car. You've got an accelerator, that's your sympathetic system, and you've got brakes, that's your parasympathetic system. That 9-minute exercise, it slams down on the accelerator, spiking your alertness and energy. Then the 21-minute meditation comes in and gently applies the brakes, calming everything down and bringing you into this perfect balance. The result of this 1-2 punch is a state of what you could call calm alertness. You're energized, but you're not jittery or anxious. You're focused, but you're not stressed out. This right here is the ideal state your brain needs to be in to tackle really complex, demanding work. And that state is your gateway to flow. You know that feeling, right? It's that kind of magical state where you are so completely absorbed in what you're doing that time just seems to disappear. Your inner critic goes quiet and your performance just goes through the roof. The entire 9-2-1 routine is designed to make that state easier to get to on demand. And look, there is hard data to back this up. In a huge analysis of over 17,000 people, researchers found a really clear positive link between mindfulness practices and the ability to experience flow. This number you see here, R approximately 0.38, that's just the statistical measure of that link. But here's what it means in plain English. It is scientific proof that the more you train your attention, the more flow you're going to find in your work. It's that simple. So let's just tie this all together. The 9-2-1 program works by systematically clearing out all that mental clutter, by balancing your body's energy with mental calm, by quieting that nagging, self-critical voice inside your head, and ultimately by priming the focus center of your brain, your prefrontal cortex, for action. When you really step back and think about it, this program represents a huge shift in how we think about work. Productivity isn't some brute force game of just logging more and more hours. It's a game of preparation. It's about the quality of your focus, not the quantity of your time. And I'll leave you with this really powerful quote that I think just sums the whole thing up. The goal is to cultivate a state of mind prepared by intention, breath, and movement. It's a holistic approach, one that knows you just can't separate your mind from your body when it comes to performance. Which brings us to our final question. Based on everything we've just seen, could investing just 30 minutes in this kind of deliberate preparation completely transform the productivity and the quality of your entire workday? The evidence suggests that's a question really worth asking yourself.